In race number 1 yesterday, the Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup set off the line and we immediately found ourselves with battling down towards turn 1. A third to first possibly was on the cards for Jaap van Lagen until Wouter Borokamp fought back. Villeneuve had a mistake out there on the circuit and there would be plenty of contact. Eventually, we would find ourselves with Philippe Augran in the barrier. The fans were absolutely keeping their spirits high as we went racing once again after a red flag. Mizzetti would find his way to the wall. In the end, it was Paul Kahupe with a first win. Welcome everyone to the second race of the Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup. We are all set and ready to go for what should be a championship possible race of crowning for Flint Schuring. We'll keep an eye and see how that goes. Along with that, a Dutch driver leading us away. We're around Zandvoort circuit, 17 laps coming your way, 4.2 kilometers and 2.6 miles, 8.7 meters of elevation change as well. But this is an incredible racing facility that we have utilized ever since Formula 1 returned to this venue in 2021. And of course, this is our final time here with it leaving the calendar. Well, here we go. We are in the Netherlands. We could have a Dutch champion in just over half an hour time. If Flint Schuring can outscore Robert de Haan by 6 points, that is going to be the important factor. And he starts second place, but it is the other Dutchman, Jaap van Lagen, JB, who's on pole position.
Yeah, nice to see Jaap van Lagen on pole coming into today's race. Of course, it's all down to positions dealt from race 1 yesterday. Flint Schuring on the grid. What a dominant year we've been seeing everything. I'm really, really excited, actually, about the end of this one because it's unusual to have a double header. We've had it a couple of times over the years, but this was mandated into the calendar already as being rounds 6 and 7. Lots of internet memes were going mad at that, wasn't it? But as we look over, beautiful sunny conditions, bit of a breeze, that's going to help tire temperature be a little bit cooler. And the final lap for the Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup here at Zandvoort, a track which has provided so much excitement over the years. And there is Jaap van Lagen starting on pole position. Now, is it true that this is his first pole in a number of years? Even though he hasn't claimed pole position, he's still on pole position.
Yeah, so we'll count as one for the first time in 11 years, which he'll be absolutely delighted about. So looking forward to seeing him lead us away. This is how they'll be at the back of the grid. Kai Pfister is next to Fernandez. Martinez is in 30th next to Michael Verhagen, who is in 29th position. And then we have Jack Villeneuve, who found himself off the road yesterday at turn number 1, but continued. Van der Geest is in 27th. Sam Shaheen in 26th. Then it is Vega Diepe starting alongside him as he tries to go on the attack. De Prenta in 24th. Niels Troost is 23rd position. Some of our new contenders coming into this round of the championship. Aldo Fasante is next to William Mizzetti, and then it is Dirk Schouten next to Philippe Augran, who of course found his way to the barrier yesterday. Ho is one of your guest drivers in 18th. Greif is in 17th position. Liam McNeely is 16th. Caleb Subic is in 15th for Lechner Racing. And then it is Senna van Serlen next to Andrea Bristott, one of our highest running rookie drivers when it comes to the rookie standings. Gus Burton in 12th. Matisse Ferreira starts in 11th. Wouter Borokamp is in 10th. Robert de Haan starts in 9th position. And he's got a big task to do if he wants to keep this championship alive going into Monza. Polka Hoope, our winner from yesterday, is in 8th. Marcus Aman starts in 7th. He's the lead Lechner Racing driver on the grid. Theo Overhouse is also within striking range in the points battle. Keegan Masters is next to him. Then we find ourselves with Chester Kiefer, who is the second of the Schumacher CLRT cars. Jack Young goes from 3rd, and then it is Flint Schuring in 2nd, and Jaap van Lagen, for the first time in 11 years, is about to lead us away off the line. We are on to the formation lap at Circuit Zandvoort as the drivers will get themselves all set and ready to do battle. Let's hope we can get all 17 laps in. It's 17 laps or 30 minutes, whatever comes up first, and this promises to be a great race.
Really does, and fingers crossed that we can have a clean race, because yesterday's red flag really affected things, didn't it? And it was just like, come on guys, it's a barrier, it's a piece of tech pro, we can easily just put it back into place. But there's Jaap van Lagen on pole position as he comes up. He's already taken off. I think he's forgot how to do a formation lap, because he's gone and he's completely on his own as he comes through. It's his 3rd career pole position though. Let's take a listen to him now.
Position said a lot for me, especially here, my home track. I have been here on the podium, I think twice in Supercup. Once I was leading the race, I got hit from another driver and I didn't finish. I still have one set of new tires available, so I think we use that on Sunday, and hopefully I can lead from beginning till the end, and that's my goal, of course. And especially now, the last race of Supercup in Zandvoort, my home track, is very special.
Excited. I think he's looking forward to it. Lots of insight given to us as well. Okay, this is going to be a lot of fun then. Excited to see Jaap van Lagen, but a 3rd pole position for him in the Mobil 1 Super Cup, 2008 at Turkey, and then 2015 Monaco, and 2026 Zandvoort now is added to that list.
At least that whole thing can be taken off now, as he's actually ticked it off and done so, and it just makes more and more sense, doesn't it? Look at the fans, they have packed in. They know that they're going to see a Dutch driver on pole position and possibly a Dutch champion coming to this, because of course after, we've only got Monza left in 2 weeks' time, and that's going to be a difficult weekend, as we now see. Bad day yesterday for the Lechner Racing squad as well. 2 of their drivers getting really affected massively. Coming through, Amand retiring, as now they pull onto the grid. Always a tense time this, I find, as well, because the grid is so long and the pit lane is so short an entry there. You're actually alongside it, so you'll notice that 4 rows of the grid actually block the pit lane entrance, so it's very difficult to want to come into the pit lane. You sort of have to line up, so if there's a staller on the grid, the formation lane takes an age, and yeah, you can't really do anything about that with the pit lane. They are talking maybe about bringing the pit lane entry to be just before turn 13, so it goes on the bottom half of the banking, similar to what we see at Indianapolis, because as you see, that's already a car coming into the pit lane, I'm actually going to say. So yeah, somebody's already dived in and changing that focus. But yeah, that pit lane just on the entry of the back row of row 12, 40 to 16.
Right. Oh, there we go. We've got a little stoppage there for the number 5, slow moving away through. So a bit of trouble as we try and just line ourselves up in position. Oh, here we go. These are the tense and nervy moments for the field. So Kai Pfister finding himself in a bit of trouble. He's the driver at the back, so he probably just had to get on the brakes to some degree, just to be able to, I think, survive and actually be able to move forward. Right, here we go then. This is going to be very exciting as the green flag waves at the back. Second on the grid is the driver trying to be crowned champion. For the first time in 11 years, it's Jaap van Lagen on pole position, and the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup is racing for the penultimate time in 2026. Jaap van Lagen with a perfect start, and he leads us down to Tarzan Corner. Schuring in second place ahead of his teammate Chester Kiefer. It was a poor launch off the line for Jack Young, and he's tagged round Keegan Masters, who goes spinning at turn number 1, and he's going to be beached in the gravel trap, but it is Van Lagen leading us, Schumacher CLRT second and third, and it's Young in P4.
Bad start from the two BWT Lechner Racing that are further back in the field, so that's going to affect them. A few stallers further back, dropping the safety cars out. So they've neutralised the race immediately, as unfortunately for Keegan Masters, he is completely beat in the gravel trap at turn 1 exit. Safety car out then again, and not the start we wanted at all. That should easily be pulled out. There's a marshal point just after that with a crane. But yeah, Van Lagen getting in the best position only to start this race, and he has taken off. And then Flint Schuring in second and Kiefer in third. So it's game on, really. Marshall's now on track.
Absolutely. Marshall's on track indeed. This was the launch off the line. Just perfect. I don't think we've seen such a great start from the Bolton. It just moves away.
Yeah, just absolutely no wheel spin at all. All three BWT Lechners had a terrible start and lost positions off the line. Schumacher's got a great start, and then here's Keegan Masters just getting tapped around completely, coming in by Jack Young. Young had nowhere to go. It was a concertina effect at the exit of turn 1. As we ride now on board, this is with Burakamps. Oh, a perfect launch from Burakamps. Very much similar to our pole sitting at Van Lagen. Up into 8th place already. That's at the deficit of the two Lechner Racings I was talking about. All three of them had a bad start, but the two locked back further. And Burakamps was very lucky not to get caught up in Keegan Masters' spin there at the exit of turn 1. Brilliant start, though, coming in from our pole sitter. This is on board with Theo Overhouse. And he's going to have a direct clash because there's Keegan Masters alongside him. Jack Young blocks him down into 1. Yeah, so there's Young coming round. Young gets a tap. Is it Young's fault? I don't think that's Young's fault, actually. It looks like he gets pushed by Theo Overhouse at the exit of turn 1. So I think Overhouse goes into the back of Young, who tags the sides of Masters.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that incident as well at the start as well. So very much interesting as they got through Tarzan, or well, some of our leading group did, not the exit of it for Masters, who ended up getting tagged, but of course out of the car, and a disappointment for him. Out of the race he goes, and we are behind the safety car then, understandably, while they repair that, while they get rid of that car of the circuit. So Van Lagen leading the way, Flint Schuring currently in second, needs to outscore his rivals and just make sure that he's got a lead that is above 26 points as that car now gets recovered.
Shouldn't take too long. Should be green by the end of this lap. If the pace car does the job properly and just backs them up a little bit, we should be okay to get going. Oh, and that's under safety car. A car going off the circuit further back. That is Fernandez. Jorge Ramirez Fernandez, who has gone off in the exit of T2. That must be underwarming his tyres and just shot off the circuit.
Yep, it does appear that way. Seems like just a bit of a miss. Well, something's gone on. Well, we're going to get a replay of that now.
Locked up into the braking zone 2. That's a... okay, under safety car, to have the ABS locked on like that, that is disastrous. That is not his fault at all. He would not have kept the brake pedal on that long. So that is a failure there, and I wonder if he might come into the pit lane and possibly need to be out of the race. He certainly flat-spotted his tyres going into it. No sign of the safety car in this lap, though. And Jaap van Lagen has been noted for grid procedure infringement. That's our pole sitter. And the man who got a perfect getaway might now not have the perfect race.
Well, that is a shame for the driver in P1. Has that investigation now over him, and oh, that is a complete disaster. And Flint Schuring could put himself in perfect position as they make their way through. I think they're coming through the pit lane.
That's really bizarre. I don't know why they've brought them through the pit lane, because the incident is past turn 1. There's no reason for it to be needed. I can't see anyone on the track at turn 1, so I don't know why the safety car's brought them through the pit lane.
Well, I mean, quite literally, last time we had a Grand Prix Sunday, Formula 3 Hungary, there was a complete misjudgment, and that something like this happened. I really do wonder whether these... I mean, did Bert Malander think he was coming in and everyone just followed?
I think he did. I think it was supposed to. There was no race control message to say come through the pit lane at all from race control there. I think there's been a miscommunication. Bert Mylander was supposed to come into at the end of that lap, and the field has just followed him through. But now we've got more cars still coming out of the pit lane. What is again? Safety car is now in this lap. There has been a breakdown of communication.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there was no need for them to come through the pit lane as well. Everything is very much cleared and okay at the moment in time, and it wasn't even at that part of the circuit. Right, Teo Overhouse in 5th. So Dehaan, as it stands, is going to be getting outscored by 6 points in the championship. So that's one ticked off. But Overhouse is the one that we're also going to need to do a little comparison to. So as this race goes on, we'll do that to make sure that Flint Schuring is winning the championship or not. But there's multiple drivers we've got to keep in mind up against him. So it's not just Dehaan, but he just needs to make sure that he's got 26 points at the end of this race, possibly 25. We'll have to check the count back on that as well in a few moments. Right, for now though, let's focus on this restart. Jaap van Lagen may have an investigation, but for now, he is having fun leading the way around Zandvoort Circuit, and he now makes his way out of the braking zone and towards the green flags once again. It's a good restart for Marcus Amand. I can see further back as he tries to go and chase down Teo Overhouse, but Overhouse is all over the back of Jack Young at the same time. We will make our way onto the 4th lap of the race, and Jack Young already feeling the need to go defensive. Further back, we've also got Borekamps involved in some of the battling, and Kahupe is just going to be there. He's still going to be getting a nose in, but can't fight his way through. Van Lagen maintains the advantage at the front of the field, then Schuring, then Kiefer, and then in 4th we have Young, who is staying ahead for the moment.
Car off in the background and touched the barriers. Couldn't see who it was, but somebody was off at T2.
Yep, so I think Ferreira was the one who was getting very close as well through the 3rd turn of the racetrack. There was chaos further back at the same time as you mentioned.
There it is. I think it's the 32 coming off on the back of the circuit. I'm just double checking. It's Nick Ho, I think, who was off. As Overhouse has now been noted for an instance, and that was expected. I want to see a replay of that because there's a car just darting off through the gravel at turn 1. Look at Flint Schuring now, right on the back of Jaap van Lagen. Can he find any momentum down towards turn 11 and 12? The need to overtake is so much more powerful in these new cars this season as well. You get sucked in more with the Overhouse. As there's a yellow flag now in sector 5. Gone green now.
Yep, gone green now at the moment as we'll make our way through towards the final few turns of this circuit. So we've got a battle for the lead ongoing at the moment. Van Lagen versus Flint Schuring with Chester Kiefer also in behind, just waiting for his opportunity. And this is going to be a great chance down towards Tower. Overhouse has got through. Overhouse has made a move further back on Jack Young. And that is going to be a pass made at this stage. Meanwhile, you've got Amand going hyper-defensive. Kahupe trying to go the long way round down towards the braking zone. So it's Overhouse now leading this train. Kahupe still tries to carry the momentum. There was no change of lead or any battle for the lead through there, but it's all battle further back.
Robert Dehaan trying to pass Paul Canoper as well. And a little bit move on the inside line. That's the race lead changing at turn 3.
Yep, Schuring and Jaap van Lagen going wheel to wheel through these fast turns at this stage, and Schuring gets through. Van Lagen's going to have to back out of it. He's jumping all over the road, and Flint Schuring through turn number 3 has somehow found his way through.
I think Kiefer's not going to find a way through as well. Jaap van Lagen's not looking as promising as we thought he would do, and now the Schumacher guys are just absolutely on him. Look at his down to turn 10. There's contact, and Jaap van Lagen's going to go wide.
Chester Kiefer sending it late on the brakes, and he's fought his way through into second place. That was aggressive there, but Van Lagen's going to now be basically returning the favour, and he gives a little tap to Chester Kiefer, and this is very much going to bring Teo Overhouse into the mix as well. So it's Kiefer, the driver, who drops down. Schuring is pulling away. Van Lagen got dive bombed, and then he gave the same treatment back a couple of corners on, and it's Overhouse through the chicane, wheel to wheel. This is for 3rd position on the road, and Overhouse and Kiefer still doing battle down towards the final braking zone. It is door-to-door contact at this stage as they head through towards the banked corner in a few moments' time, and it will be Kiefer ahead and wide, and is that a problem now? Coming the way of Overhouse.
Both of them went wide, coming out of the last corner as well. They got on the dirt, and that's now put Kiefer further back. Look at the two Legner racers. They're going side by side down to turn 1. Robert DeHaan knows that a 4th place is on him here, and if he can outbrake himself, he's going to get ahead of his teammate. Overhouse on the inside line of Kiefer, and Jack Young's taken 3rd position, but it's still under investigation. There's a yellow flag. Sector 2, that's turn 1. And is that Kiefer, Rat? Is it Kiefer? He's disappeared off our timing monitors. Is he in the gravel?
Well, Kahupe is dropping down as well at the moment, so I wonder whether there's some issues that have possibly gone on for him. There's a bit of debris on the circuit as well. So, yeah, Kahupe's dropped massively down. That's the car that we saw wide, and I wonder whether he's had an issue. Does Kiefer, as you mentioned, also have some trouble as well?
He's dropped down now to 13th place. Ho's dropped down into 16th as well. Vega Diapet as well down to 25th. I'm not seeing much out there for it. You're laughing at me. I'm not looking too much there, but I'm not seeing a safety car. It's now clear sector 2.
Yeah, okay, so a few cars have dropped down massively at the moment in time, as we've just described. So there's been big issues on the circuit, and we'll have to see what it's going to, who's specifically dropped down. Let's take a look at a replay. Let's see if we can work some things out. Right.
Ho.
Yeah, so that's in the background. We had off the road, so momentarily a car going slightly wide, and then we cut over to this with Robert DeHaan.
This is down turn 10 on the inside line. That's how it's made up from 9th to 4th through some fantastic manoeuvres today. And hang on, Robert DeHaan is now P3. As the timing tower is updating on our system. Clear track now at the moment. This was the moment. Look, Overhouse and Kiefer getting on the exit of turn 13 on the dust, Omi. And then they just, literally, the Lechner Racings were able to squeeze on both of them. And then DeHaan makes it 3 wide down to turn 1 at Tarzan.
Yep, absolutely. As we go back to live pictures, because DeHaan, as you mentioned, has got up to 3rd. So he's got past Jack Young, who's lost the position. So we can't even show you replays without things happening behind the scenes at the moment. As the yellow flags are out once again. So Kiefer's in the pit lane, I just want to say. Kahupe's dropped down to 26th. So Kahupe must have had a spin. Kiefer has some form of damage because he's in the pit lane. Sumich is dropping down my order now as well. Right, Kahupe's incident turn 1's been noted. So clearly he's either hit someone or has been hit. But he's dropped to the back, I can guarantee you that. Sumich was off the road.
Sumich is off at turn 1, I think. That's going to bring out a yellow. I think he's got going because now we've got all clear flashing up on our monitors. But Robert DeHaan is going to be on the back of Jaap van Legen here and wants to make the move. Turn 7, instant involving car 11 and 17, has been noted for causing a collision.
Absolutely. So it is all ongoing at the moment. So Jaap van Legen clearly seems to have, at the moment, no race pace. It seems to be a big struggle for him. Flint Shearing is on his way further up the road. So this is about to, well, this could get really interesting in a few moments. I didn't really think DeHaan would be much of a contender today, having started in 9th, but he's running in 3rd and about to turn it into 2nd place. It will make our life easier in terms of whether this championship does go through to the final race or not working that out. So we'll get the maths done in a second if DeHaan can make this move, because he's going to have a big opportunity, but he can't get his way by into turn number 1.
So lap 8 of 17, Flint Shearing the leader by 3.7. Jaap van Legen now holding back Robert DeHaan. My prediction to you, Omi, is that DeHaan's going to go for a move, Van Legen's going to block him, and then out of nowhere, Jack Young's going to retake 2nd position here. This is incredible. Oh, and Kiefer did have problems. He's got into the pits with new tyres.
Absolutely. So as it stands, Flint Shearing would be Porsche Supercup champion because we've got 25 points for the winner. That's heading to Shearing. And then as it stands, DeHaan would be getting 17. So that would, of course, be a difference of 8 points. The gap between them right now is 6. So Shearing would extend his advantage to beyond that point. So at the moment, Flint Shearing would be on his way to take the crown in 2026 at his home race. But if DeHaan goes through, then we have to recalculate, and it could be completely different, because for 2nd place you get 20 points, and that would only be a 5-point gain for Shearing, which would put him about a 1 point ahead. So there's a lot of maths here.
There really is, and this is the feistiness that we've been witnessing right now, isn't it? The sort of the do or die mentality that we enjoy so much. As Flint Shearing just going to be the champion by so much. brief yellow in sector 16. That's here at the last corner, so I don't know how there can be a yellow there unless someone's gone round. And look at this from Robert de Haan. He's got the slipstream now on Jaap van Legen down towards turn number 1.
Can he send it? Can he be late on the brakes? He's been trying to set this one up for a while. In the background, late on the brakes for Marcus Amand. We asked the question, could de Haan possibly send an overtake? It was his teammate in the background, and he's got through just about. Jack Young could lose that now to Overhouse. So Overhouse trying to go through in the Martino by Alvarez car. Jack Young's going to be put offline, and he's going to get the inside line to the banking. He's going to back out of that one. So Amand goes up, then Overhouse, and Young finds himself losing 2 places.
Yep, so Jack Young now down into 6th position. That's a shame. Theo Overhouse right in the back of Amand, and de Haan right in the back of Jaap van Legen as well. This is fantastic racing. Much more exciting than what we had in the Academy race earlier on, where it was very much follow me leader. But the only thing at the Academy in this year is the fact that the race leader's taken off.
Come on.
I could have said that. We didn't need a 10-second time stoppage for that from coming through for that radio.
Yeah, I think Overhouse very much knows the goal. So Overhouse is also 3rd in the championship. So now we got to. So if he gets past de Haan, then we've got to cut him in into the points mix as well.
Oh, that's
There's
Simic.
1 point separating de Haan and Overhouse, so it's quite complicated.
That's Simic out of the race. So that's one of the Lecter racings off. Turmoil involving cars 16 and 25 has been noted. That's latest on race control. So we've got 4 cars out right now.
Absolutely. So de Haan then through the banked corner once again is going to have a chance. He might just need to send it like his teammate. If he saw that in the mirrors of what Amand was doing, he might just need to do that because there's no way through at the moment. And if he wants to keep his championship hopes alive and to the final race, he's going to need to do something, but he can't do it. At turn number 1, Tarzan corner, he tries to set it up and tries to see whether there's any other possibilities, but at the moment the gap between them is 19 points, and then you add in the 8 points that Schuring gains over that, and that takes him past 25, and therefore it will mean that Schuring is champion. So it basically is coming down to this: can de Haan get past Van Lagen or not?
And that's going to be a 50-50 approach, isn't it? De Haan needs to get ahead here, but is the Dutch driver of Jaap van Legen helping out a fellow Dutch driver to become a champion at a Dutch circuit? He's pushing him like crazy. These fans are going to go nuts if that happens, Omi. And it looks entirely possible like it could. As we come into it right now, de Haan just takes a nice entry into Renault. Down to turn 10 now, just picking the best line, thinking about late on the brakes. And as soon as Jaap van Legen cuts across him, he loses all the front aero devices as well. So nothing's really progressing. Nothing's getting into the positions he needs. It's just not working out for him.
Yep, absolutely. Just not working out for him at the moment as they go down into the chicane and in towards the braking zone. He's so close to the back. So just to reiterate, as it stands, Schuring is on his way to the crown. But it is Robert de Haan. If he makes this move for second, then it'll be 1 point that will be needed for Schuring, and that would mean that it would go to the Temple of Speed in 2 weeks' time at Monza. So de Haan can very much try and extend this championship battle to the final race of the season, but he needs to get past Van Lagen if he wants to do exactly that, and Van Lagen always is able to cover the middle of the road.
Nicely done through turn 1 to try and just get back on the power. Look how much curb he's taking at the exit. Clips it now into turn 2. Now at the banking of turn 3. Now Van Legen just puts it up high. De Haan tries to cut down low. Rear sliding. Michelin rubber starting to go maybe on lap 11 of 17. But they've still got to just keep calm. Keep calm. Safety car can happen anything. And then you're right back into it. It's only, 8 to go.
Laps are running out in this one. A reminder of your point system. 25 for the win, 20 for second, 17 for third. And that is how the top 3 go. So, right now it is 25 for Schuring. It would be 17 for de Haan. There would be an 8-point gain for Flint Schuring, and 8 points would take him past the 6 points that he needs over de Haan to be crowned champion. So, at the moment, it's Schuring's title. But we're putting high emphasis on that because de Haan could be about to make a move, and if he makes this move, it could go all the way to Monza. So that's the important implication that we have got in this, because second gets 20 points, and that way it would only be 5 points being gained, and de Haan is very much close now because Van Lagen is finding himself with some troubles through the final turn and through the braking zone before the banking, and is Dehaan going to be able to send it? We keep asking the question because it's so important. In the background, however, you've got Jack Young slipstreaming Overhouse, and he's pulling towards the outside line into Tarzan, but Overhouse stays ahead. Jack Young tries to get the cut back, and he does find the inside line.
Does he get the exit? Yes, he does. Turn 3's outside line. I think Young's going to get ahead of him. Overhouse literally had to back out of it. Young sliding around on the dust. Overhouse going right round the outside at 3. They're both getting out of it. That's fantastic. Yeah. Bring on the Porsches. Brilliant stuff. Look at this. Down to the sand dunes, Omi.
Oh, look at this. Borecamp's trying to fight his way by. Absolutely extraordinary stuff, and he will get through. So Jack Young loses out to Borecamp's, who fights his way by. Burton is now finding himself involved, and he's in the mix. And then you've got Matisse Ferreira also joining the party. So you've got moves that are happening at the moment, and this order that is scrambling at this stage here at Zandvoort.
Fantastic racing. This is properly bringing the Sunday alive, and the Dutch fans are very much entertained as the gap 4.7 now for Flynn showing he's doing all he needs to do to be crowned a Porsche Super Cup champion. Jack Young now dropped down into 7th and still under investigation for that contact and putting out Keegan Masters earlier on. Instead of cars 26 of Burton is under investigation for track limits. That'll be probably a 5-second time penalty.
Yep, absolutely. Once again, Dehaan is getting close, and this could be the chance. This is one of the closest he's been. He's kept it pinned to the floor, making his way through the corner. If Robert Dehaan wants to take this championship fight all the way to Monza, he needs to make a move ideally now. Van Lagen is late with the defense. He moves over to the inside line. 5 laps to go in the race, and he maintains the advantage, but Dehaan is now going to become inventive. He's got Van Lagen off the ideal racing line. We make our way through turn number 2, down towards the corner of turn number 3. Is Dehaan able to go through? He looks for the inside line, but has to tuck in behind as they fight with the Michelin tyres at this stage to provide them the grip.
Catching is one thing, passing quite another. Burton has passed Young, so Young's now down to 8th position. The GP car's running 6, 7 and 9 at the moment. As we now look, 5-second time penalty for Gustav Burton for those track limits we predicted. Here's Burton. So here's Dehaan.
Moving on the braking.
Okay, so Dehaan saying he's moving under braking. I'm not seeing it that much. I think he was doing good defensive down to turn 1. To block, but I think Jaap van Lagen might, well, he's already under investigation for that out of position at the start. Race control really not pushing it as much as we thought here. They've been very lax today.
Yeah, I would rather a decision come in soon, because I would not like the championship to be decided off the circuit with the points battle, so I'd like to ideally know now, if we can, on that by the stewards, but we're not getting any discussions at the moment. Does Sven know anything?
Sven, how do you think this championship has gone so far?
Hello everybody. Basically I have to say we had a great championship until now. We had good races, Barcelona, Monaco and everywhere all over the place. On one side it would be good for Flint if the championship is decided this weekend. On the other hand, he has quite a big gap at the moment. Dehaan is not finished. Believe me that he knows how to fight. On the other hand, Van Lagen, he did more than 100 cup races. He knows how to defend. But there are 5 laps to go, so I think the battle is not finished yet.
Thank you, Sven. It certainly isn't, but...
Robert Dehaan's under investigation, Omi. Again, turn 3, involving Han, and 16 is under investigation for causing a collision.
Yes, Polka Hupe under investigation as well alongside that. So this championship is up in the air at the moment, whether it goes to Monza or not. Because Scheuring is putting himself in position. As it stands at the moment, Flint Scheuring will be crowned champion, but can Robert Dehaan make the pass? Can he try and make the maneuver and get himself into second place provisionally? Yellow flags! Oh, Caleb Amanda's spun in the background. Marcus Amanda's gone off the road. He'll rejoin and he'll be able to continue, but that is a dramatic moment for him. And was he tagged round? Did he lose the car?
No, I think you're right. I think he must have been tagged round. That was very careless of him, as you mentioned. He just spun it round massively, and that was coming into the braking zone. The only way that could happen, two options. One, you get... Oh, Dehaan's been given a 5-second time penalty. This is mega.
Well, whether he makes the move or not, it will be the deciding element. So, De Haan, for forcing another driver off the circuit, has been given a 5-second time penalty. And now, that is perfectly opening the door for Flint Schuring to take the crown. It won't come down to whether De Haan can make this move on Van Lagen. It's going to be down now to a penalty for Robert De Haan. However, we've also got to keep an eye on Overhaus. If Van Lagen and De Haan get a penalty, and if Overhaus goes into second, then it once again will reset everything.
Gap is 3.8 between these two, Van Lagen and De Haan to Overhaus. So Overhaus is inside a 5 second for both of them. But here comes De Haan now. He's got no reason to hold back anymore. He needs time in the last 3 laps.
Oh, he's trying to fight his way by. Well, it would have been an absolutely extraordinary finish to this one had he not had that penalty, because it would have come down to this. It would have come down to can De Haan overtake Van Lagen, and that would have been the deciding factor in this championship of whether it's crowned or not. We're not going to get that element. Now it's going to be a 5-second penalty for Robert De Haan, and Flint Schuring is going to be getting a step closer to the title. And De Haan is trying to go through different lines meeting in the middle. This is an incredible race, and it's coming down all the way till the end. We're about to go on to the final 2 laps here in Zandvoort.
He's flashing the lights for De Haan. He desperately wants to go through. He doesn't want any more of this mess. He wants the move. He wants the opportunity. But I think Flint Schuring's going to have the win and the championship lined up. What a fascinating race we're having here for our final time in Zandvoort. It's giving us a send-off worthy of being remembered. And here's a replay. Right, this is what happened. This is Robert De Haan forcing off Theo Overhaus. And I think that's very, very, very harsh, Omi. The stewards have either been doing nothing today or overreacting. I don't think De Haan deserved a penalty for that.
Yeah, it's very much the Porsche type of racing that we get so often. And on this occasion, Robert De Haan has been penalised. And that has, well, made this championship have huge implications, because he's going to drop down. Van Lagen is still under investigation, but he's in second for the moment. That'll be looked at after the race for Van Lagen. They're going to focus on that later. For Schuring at the moment, he's just done his race and is on his way to win, and most likely win the title at the exact same time at his home circuit.
Burton with a penalty as well, so that's going to put De Haan roughly into about 5th, 6th position, because Young's a second back. So with Burton's penalty, De Haan will only drop down a couple of places.
Absolutely. So just to reiterate, the gap coming into this was 19 points between Schuring and Robert De Haan. Well, we're going to find ourselves with 25 points heading the way of Flint Schuring. It'll be 17, or it would have been 17 for Robert De Haan, but he's going to drop down further. Even if he was to finish in third, Robert De Haan, and not have a penalty, still it would be the championship that would be given, as Matisse Ferreira is finding himself off the road. Completely a misjudgment down towards turn number 1 as they got on the brakes.
Yeah, just completely got sent off. Investigate after the race, as you mentioned, for the grid procedure infringement for Van Lagen. That's going to hold the championship in a little bit of a loft, isn't it? The stewards have been completely inconsistent today, but what's new when it comes to the FIA and Formula 1? So, Borough Camps with Burton. Burton's got that penalty anyway, so I don't think Burton should be attacking. This is the final lap here at Zandvoort.
Yep, so Flint Schuring on his way to win the race and on his way to win the title at the same time. So this is going to be a special moment for him. It would have come down to could De Haan make an overtake, but it's not going to be that case anymore because of the penalty, and we know it for certain. He can make the move all he wants, but he's going to be hit with a penalty. Therefore, it ruins that element of the race that we would have had. So for De Haan, any chance of the title has faded away due to the stewards who got involved.
Flint Schuring has not put a foot wrong, isn't he? That is an impressive drive of over 6 seconds. He's a worthy champion, and what a season he's had.
Well, this is going to be a big moment. He has led all the way through 12 laps, made the move basically straight after we had the safety car restart. And he was crowned the rookie champion here at this circuit 1 year ago, when all the attention was on Robert De Haan, when all the attention was on Alessandro Gueretti as they fought for the 2025 championship. And now, as he makes his way through the stadium section with the Dutch fans in the grandstands, they are about to witness a Dutch champion be crowned here at the final Dutch Grand Prix. It'll be through the final corner for Flint Schuring. So many contenders, so many fast talents in the Super Cup in 2026, but it is going to be Mr. Consistent, Flint Schuring, who comes across the line to take victory. And with that, he is going to become the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup champion in 2026. A superb performance. Van Lagen in second, Overhouse in third. De Haan's going to drop down with a penalty. But with everyone coming across the line, the gap is going to be above 25 points. And therefore, the dream has been realised for the Dutchman. Flint Schuring takes the crown in 2026.
Remarkable race, remarkable championship. We've still got a round left to settle the teams and the rookies next time out in Monza. But the Drivers' Championship for Flint Schuring is absolute perfection. And he did it, Omi, today in absolute masterclass conditions. Over 6 seconds he's won it.
Yes! Thank you. Congratulations, mate. Congratulations. You are the best. Thank you.
An incredible season of hard work, and that one is going to mean a lot to him. As I said, around the circuit where he was crowned rookie champion last year, he's followed it up a year later with the actual crown. And, you know, Larry Tenforder, a champion with Schumacher CLRT. Then we had Alessandro Guerretti last year, a champion with Schumacher CLRT. And now, this year, is going to belong to the Roaring Dutchman. Flint Schuring is about to make his way onto the podium and is about to get the Dutch national anthem around this circuit. I mean, there's a very low likelihood of Verstappen being able to do anything in F1. So these fans are going to be cheering on and probably listening to the only Dutch anthem here today. But they are cheering him on in the grandstands.
Yeah, but Nina Gaderman on top twice in the F1 Academy races. Flint Schuring on top here. Jaap van Lagen yesterday. You know, the Dutch having a great weekend for podiums and race wins. So maybe Max can get a podium. That might be a likelihood. I hope so. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Not a bad race this, Omi. That's one of the best we've seen for Porsches. And delighted I could be up here in the box with you, mate.
Yeah, we've had some great races this weekend.
Mate, brilliant. Appreciate a lot. You have been a wonderful performance. Everything. That was an incredible drive. Thank you. Thank you, boys. Good night to you. The last Grand Prix weekend in the Zandvoort.
They make their way through then, down towards the pit lane. So, well, I mean, that would have been a very dramatic finish to that race. Can I just say, had there not been a penalty. Flint Schuring would have crossed the line, and it would have been side by side between Jaap van Lagen and Robert de Haan over the line to see whether Schuring would be crowned champion. Because they finished side by side, which is why the TV direction had to cut over to that battle for a second. But they finished basically wheel to wheel over the line. So that would have been a very, let's just say, different type of finish had there not been that penalty. But that's the key word, had, because it wasn't that scenario, or we would have basically not been able to crown. We wouldn't have been able to crown Schuring champion over the line. We would have to wait to see the craziness for second and whether Robert de Haan would have got it. And that would have been quite something. But wow, that is extraordinary, incredible Super Cup racing as the overall drivers make their way through. The rookie drivers as well. Congratulations to Jack Young on that. Flint Schuring very much proving how you can go from being a rookie superstar one season to being the drivers' champion the next, as he'll make his way onto the top step. And he is going to be celebrating with the crown in 2026 as well. And that is incredible.
What a reception. What a look that we've got here. I mean, the Porsche Championship is actually fantastic coming in. Oh, do you want some interesting news? Further periods of dense cloud cover and light rain or sea effect drizzle at times this morning. Late afternoon, expect clouds to break up, allowing filtered sunshine across the area with dry and breezy conditions. about 20 km/h wind speed, maybe 40 during the race, but there is no rain predicted, just high winds. Yeah, right. Anything can happen in Zandvoort.
It really, really can. As being asked in the chat, I think it's important to give a bit of context of what the championship can do to a driver, because it's all good to win this championship. While this isn't necessarily a feeder series, it kind of does act as one to, you know, professional GT racing. Lots of drivers go into the World Endurance Championship. They go into stuff like DTM. Basically, you'll probably see a lot of them at Le Mans, the Rolex 24, in basically that area. IMSA, you see them become professional race car drivers. You have different goals in the Super Cup. You have some of these drivers like Flint Shearing, young drivers who are coming into the championship with the aim of moving up. You have some others maybe like Jaap van Lagen who are tail-ending their career, but they all meet in one arena across the European rounds to do battle for the championship. Jaap van Lagen down there. But yes, the Steward's decision robbing us of what could have been an absolutely unbelievable end to the to this race, because we would have had side-by-side to the line. As I mentioned, we would have had side-by-side to the line to see whether Flint Shearing would be champion or not. So that has to hurt. That really has to hurt as well. But yeah, I don't understand that penalty. And I'm not saying that now. I'm of course not saying that now that we were robbed of an extraordinary championship finish with a side-by-side to the line. Right, watch this. So Flint Shearing comes over the line and he takes victory. Don't know whether we're going to get to see the side-by-side over for second position. We're just showing you the championship moments if you are synced up with us. But it would have been wheel-to-wheel over the finishing order. Yeah, absolutely. It very much was. So it could have been a bit of, I don't know, Brazil 2008 maybe, in that sense. Yeah, it really could have, where if Shearing was crowned champion and then all of a sudden we saw a move at the end. But no, in the end we were always destined for this outcome across today. It's just we got there in the less dramatic way.
Just wondering if we're going to have time, because we've got a few minutes until the touring cars starts, and we've got to go over to that broadcast. So, what does the future look like for a Super Cup champion? You've already asked that question, haven't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had other people in my ears telling me to hurry up and get to touring cars.
Yeah. I mean, we might be lucky and can get the overall podium. Maybe.
Okay, we'll have them all. We've got time. We can have all of them. Great.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that is incredible. So we can see the championship, well, the champion of the season. That's going to be an interesting phrase to use at Monza, because over the last couple of years, we've not had the championship sealed before the final race, which is the key element. It's always gone down to the final race over the years, for the last few years maybe. So, yeah, it's a bit different. We are finding ourselves with the Dutchman making his way on toward the top step of the podium. Flint Shearing, the 2026 champion. Superb stuff from Flint Shearing. And we have got the Dutchman with the Dutch national anthem that has been, well, very much sent around this festival atmosphere that is Zandvoort. Dutch 1-2 over the line as well. Oh, that is incredible. And Overhouse would have loved to take in the fight further as well in this championship. So many quick drivers, and even though Scheuring did have that one round in Hungary where he retired, still that is Mr. Consistent, because overall you could argue that so many drivers had raw speed, but they could not put a campaign together in the way that Scheuring could, and he gets to celebrate with the champagne on the top step of the podium. And what an incredible drive by all three of them. And they will now look ahead to Monza. Flint Scheuring can go into Monza and absolutely relax.
Relaxation. So on orbit, by the way, they've switched the timings off. What an absolute joy for Flint Scheuring, the champion, enjoying it now. And now we've got the rookies podium, and everyone's going to pop in now because they've got 9. Oh, how long is it actually? It's a long gap now, isn't it? It's 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. 2.5 hours, Omi, until the start of the F1 race. That's mad.
Yeah, and I'd say that makes it more impressive that all the Dutch fans are already here watching the support series action, because they've made an effort. It's not like they've just turned up. You know, they could have turned up a little bit later. They've all made sure they're early, and they get to witness a Dutch champion being crowned as well. Matthijs Ferreira then on towards third. This is the rookie podium now that we're taking you through. Congratulations to Ferreira. And then we're going to find ourselves with the next driver incoming of Liam McNeely, the Brit. He'll go into second. And then we are going to welcome the driver who is finished in P1. And it is the Brit, Jack Young. British 1-2 this time around in the rookie classification. And it is time, once again, on this Sunday for the British National Anthem. Well, there we go. First win, rookie win for Jack Young, and very much deserved. Okay, so the way this day's gone so far, we've had a Dutch national anthem, and we've had 2 British national anthems that have been played.
So Max Verstappen wins and swaps into a McLaren. Actually, Lando Norris could win because he's part Dutch, isn't he?
Yeah, would be quite solid, as, well, we get the podium ceremonies underway once again with the celebrations. Jack Young, a rookie winner, and as I said a few moments ago, for these drivers, Flint Scheuring was in their position 1 year ago. We crowned him as rookie champion 1 year ago in this exact race. So that is how quickly time can change. Any of them, if they can get their season going well next year, could be crowning themselves as the Porsche Supercup champion. And also, they of course want to become a Porsche Junior at the same time as well, as they move away from the podium. And that's all the support series action done, and all eyes now go to the actual Grand Prix of Formula 1.
Yep, it's going to be a great one, I think, Omi, coming into it. And I head off now to a touring car race before breakfast at about 12:15. It's not going to be a bad day, this one.
Yeah, not going to be a bad day as well. So I know you can't see them, but I'll run you through the results of how they finished. Flint Scheuring and Jaap van Lagen first and second, and then Overhouse, Boerkamp, Stehan with the penalty, Young, and then Senna van Solen was next up in position. Then we had Ferreira, Amand Fastante, Ugran, and then Di Prenta, Bristol, Hogreif, Kahupe, and Niels Troost, who completes your second page. Then Bizzetti, Shaheen, Vegadiepa, then Martinez, Pfister, Villeneuve, Van der Geest, Verhagen, Sumich, and Chester Kiefer. Those two found themselves as a retirement, and And then we also had Fernandez and Masters, who retired earlier on in the race as well. Well, we have crowned our Super Cup champion. Congratulations, Flint Shearing. We've got one more round to go, and that'll be at the Temple of Speed. But the Porsche Super Cup has supported F1 ever since it returned to Zandvoort in 2021. So this has been a big part of the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup. So thank you to Zandvoort and the Dutch Grand Prix for all the historic moments. And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time at Monza.